What up everyone, I'm Trey Baird and this is Gossipin' Games, and today we're going to be playing Bart vs. the Space Mutants on the NES, and we're going to be discussing Caffeine, that lovable, huggable, unbelievable drug. And it is a drug that makes us all feel so wonderful. But can it also be your worst enemy? My name is Trey Baird, and I am a caffeine addict.
Eat my shorts.
Eat my shorts. You know, I say that for a couple of reasons. First of all, it happens to be true, but second of all, to prove a point. Because most people would probably react by saying, so what? You know, and that's the thing. Caffeine has been proven to be highly addictive and lethal in extremely high doses, but people who are addicted to it seem to have zero social stigma the way they would when they're addicted to other drugs, or addicted to alcohol, or addicted to pretty much fill in the blank. If anything, being addicted to caffeine is seen as being like hardcore or admirable, because like I work in food service, so I work with a lot of young people, and a staggering number of them take in a lot of caffeine. And I see myself when I look at these people, because you know, there's been times in my life where I was abusing caffeine on an epic scale, and even though I still go through my ups and downs with it nowadays, I'm certainly much better about caffeine than I used to be. But as I said, I can certainly attest to the way that, young people use the drug, and that's what it is. It's a drug. You use it to feel good. You use it to work. You use it to play. You use it just because. You use it because you're thirsty. And it's everywhere. It's hard to get away from. In my adult years, I've come to study the phenomenon of cause and effect. And, it's the simplest thing in the world. But when you actually, take a step back and really look at the world as, your immediate surroundings, your environment. Like, take a look around you. Everything that you can look at with your eyes right now is a direct result of a choice that you made, of an action that you took. If you're at your house, everything on your walls, all your furniture, everything, and the relationships that you have. That was not successful. I'm going back for another cherry pop. But without getting too deep, life is all about cause and effect. Everything that happens to you is because of a choice that you made earlier in your life. Sometimes it was seconds earlier, other times it was years earlier. But it's all about cause and effect. And once you begin to look at the world this way, you begin to really, question the what happens when you put certain things into your body. And for me, I blamed a lot of my personality defects on mental illness of some kind. You know, at one point it was depression. At another point it was bipolar disorder. And I've even jokingly referred to myself as OCD before. And I still do. You know, I'm not really OCD, but sometimes it's easier to tell people I am whenever I'm, you know, going through one of my quirks. If that makes sense. You know, it's like people make the same joke that, you know, people say they're ADD all the time and they don't really believe it. At least, you know, some people make that joke. Others honestly believe it, but you know what I'm saying. But, like, I've always gone through bouts of irritability. And it's one of the things that I dislike about myself and one of the things that I've wanted to change. And it took a long time for me to realize that there was a correlation between, you know, my irritability and the amount of caffeine I was taking in. And see, the stereotype is that you're irritable if you don't have caffeine. And I think that's where a lot of the problem is. And I think a lot of people need to consider the alternative, that maybe it is the caffeine that's making them irritable. Now, yeah, of course, sometimes it's withdrawal. But that's not what I'm getting at here. I noticed that, you know, I became a lot more irritable whenever my caffeine levels would get high. And I noticed that, you know, the caffeine would stay in my system more than one day. You know, most people wait less time than a day to have more caffeine. In most people's case, it's a matter of hours. Now, of course, you develop tolerance to things and such, and some people are more sensitive to things than others. I get all that, and I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that, you know, if I notice these things about myself, how I react to certain drugs, including caffeine, I think that a lot of other people would benefit looking at themselves the same way. You know, don't assume that you know what'll happen if you stop using caffeine for 30 days. Try it out. I found that a lot of the, you know, I found that no caffeine but adding cold showers would be pretty dang effective and a lot more healthier. You know, because cold showers, they wake you up and they stimulate blood flow, which creates euphoria and can also improve your overall health. Now, some people say that coffee is healthy for you, and I'm in no position to argue that, you know, but I've personally seen more evidence to the contrary that it's not healthy for you. Now, I'm sure it has antioxidants and stuff like that, but, you know, so does a lot of other things. So, now, I love coffee, and that's the problem. I'm not bashing coffee, like, at all. But I recognize that it's just not that, let me make sure I'm phrasing myself properly here. I recognize that coffee is a vice, it's a drug, and it needs to be treated like a drug. You know, I view it pretty much the same way I view alcohol. You know, sometimes life is just better with caffeine in your life. And sometimes it'll completely ruin your life. Some people can handle it better than others. And, you know, some people can't have any at all.